Being grateful is fundamental for living a fulfilled life. Gratitude is the first and most basic level of appreciation. It has to do with our outlook and perspective, how we see things, and what we're looking for. What is gratitude? Each of us has our own definition of what gratitude is, and we vary in how we experience it and how much we focus on it in our daily lives. Most people I talk to and work with admit that they don't focus as much attention as they would like to on being grateful, on feeling gratitude, and on all the good stuff in their lives. Gratitude is one of the most neglected emotions and one of the most underestimated of the virtues. Suffice it to say that there isn't a whole lot of encouragement for genuine expressions of gratitude in our day-to-day lives. Therefore, it's important for us to understand gratitude more deeply and ultimately to be very intentional in our practice of it. Gratitude is an emotion, an attitude, and a state of being. We can both feel grateful and be grateful. Fundamentally, gratitude is a genuine sense of thankfulness and appreciation that we have for someone, something, or for life in general. When we take the time to appreciate someone or something, in thought, word, or deed, we're feeling and often expressing gratitude in that moment. When we choose to look for the good things in others and find things that we appreciate and are grateful for, we're being grateful. It becomes a state of mind and an attitude. This, quote, attitude of gratitude is the essence of this principle and is fundamental to our ability to focus on the good stuff and live a life of genuine appreciation and fulfillment. The expression of genuine gratitude not only keeps social relationships intact, but can physically heal our bodies. Why gratitude is important. When we focus on what we're grateful for, we alter not only our perspective, but also our state of being. It's almost impossible to feel grateful and victimized at the same time. In fact, feeling and being grateful is a great way to transform our negativity. It can help snap us out of a bad mood, get us back on track, and keep us moving forward in a positive direction. The emotion of gratitude is so powerful that when we feel it, it often overrides any other emotions we're currently experiencing. In short, gratitude has a miraculous impact on how we see the world. If you start focusing on what you have and what you're grateful for, you will begin to see more. A central truth of life is that we always find what we look for. So if we look for things we appreciate and for things we're grateful for, we're likely to find more of this good stuff. Being grateful alters the way we relate to the world and how we see things. Imagine if you woke up tomorrow morning and made a commitment to be grateful all day long. Even if you held on to that attitude for only the first few hours of the day, do you think it would have an impact on your day, how you felt, and how you related to others in the world? Absolutely it would. Gratitude is a choice. Each day and in every moment we have a choice to feel and be grateful, regardless of our circumstances. In our daily lives, gratitude not only helps us through challenging times, but also can be a catalyst for great change and the source of great happiness. Think of some of the happiest people you know. I bet all of them are people you would consider to be grateful. Grateful people are fun to be around. They exude a sense of peace, love, and confidence that is often magical. I doubt you'll ever hear someone say, "That Nancy, boy, she's just way too grateful." When I'm working with my coaching clients, I'll often start our sessions by asking them, "What are you grateful for?" However easy or hard it may be for them to answer the question, it always alters their mood, their state of being, and their perspective, and sets a positive foundation for our session. This holds true for groups as well. Before I facilitate a meeting, especially if there's a chance that the group may engage in a challenging, difficult, or potentially volatile discussion, I always ask them, "What's going well right now?" It's important for the well-being of the group and the overall success of the discussion that we start in this positive way and talk about some of what people are grateful for, so that we can have a fruitful and effective discussion about issues, challenges, or even goals. Time in and time out, I see this positive approach work as people open up to the power of gratitude. When we take the time to really think about our lives, the people around us, and the world in which we live, there's so much to be thankful for. Depending on your perspective and the specifics of your life story, I would venture to say that there have been literally thousands of miracles in your life that have led you to this specific moment in time. As Albert Einstein said, quote, "There are two ways to live. You can live as if nothing is a miracle. You can live as if everything is a miracle." End quote. Whether or not you consider yourself someone who has experienced lots of miracles, I'm sure you can admit that many things fall into place every day in your life in a way that works out for you. There are simple things we often consider mundane that we can be grateful for on any given day, such as the touch of another person's hand, a warm smile, the beauty of a tree, that all the stoplights operated properly on our way to work, the food we were able to eat at each meal, and so much more. How gratitude shapes our attitude and perspective. Dr. Wayne Dyer says, quote, "The way we look at something actually changes what we're looking at," end quote. We've all experienced this phenomenon in our own lives. Our attitude or perspective about someone or something has a lot to do with what we ultimately see or experience. There seems to be a set of unwritten rules about public gratitude and appreciation in our society. One of these rules is that expressions of thankfulness and appreciation should only come at appropriate times. Thanksgiving is one of these acceptable times, which is why many of us take the time and feel at least somewhat comfortable expressing our gratitude out loud. Birthdays, holidays, weddings, retirement parties, award banquets, and other similar events or activities fall into this category. These are all wonderful occasions for us to express our appreciation for ourselves, others, and for life in general. But what if we did this more often? What if expressing our thankfulness was a regular, everyday occurrence? What if we had Thanksgiving all the time? We could. It's up to us. Be grateful for challenges. One of the most challenging times for many of us to feel and be grateful is when we're facing difficult circumstances in our lives. It seems almost counterintuitive to be grateful for challenges. However, most of us have had really difficult things happen to us, and looking back on some of the most painful challenges, many people, myself included, honestly say that they're grateful to have had those difficult experiences. I imagine that you can look back on many of the hardest times in your own life and realize they, quote, happened for a reason, and that you're grateful now for their going exactly the way that they did. There's a great saying of Carl Jung's that I've heard quoted many times in various workshops and by teachers, coaches, and counselors with whom I've worked. What you resist persists. In other words, fighting against our struggles and challenges often fails to produce the change we're looking for. Making peace with our imperfections, and even our most difficult challenges, will often create enough space to enable us to either make the changes we need to make or simply be willing to let them go. As my dear friend and mentor Richard Carlson reminded us in his best-selling book, Don't Sweat the Small Stuff, we, quote, fail to recognize that the way we relate to our problems has a lot to do with how quickly and efficiently we solve them, end quote. Our attitude toward a problem we have is usually far more important than the problem itself in terms of dealing with it effectively or making it into a bigger issue. If we stop and find something to be grateful for in the midst of a challenge, we gain an important perspective that helps us not only get through the problem, but also learn and grow in the process. Gratitude attracts abundance. When we focus our attention on what we're grateful for, we attract more people, circumstances, and things to be grateful for. Gratitude is one of the greatest forces of attraction in the universe. Many of us think of abundance as having a lot of money or being able to acquire lots of stuff. We gain access to true abundance by opening up to all that we already have in our lives, being grateful for it, and focusing on what we appreciate about ourselves, others, and life in general. Creating more gratitude in your life. With all this talk about being grateful, you may be sitting there and asking yourself an important question. How do I create more gratitude in my own life? This is a great question to ask. The answer is actually pretty simple. Practice. Gratitude, like many other things in life, gets easier the more you practice it. And it literally is a practice, a spiritual, emotional, and mental practice. Incorporating gratitude into your life in a significant and powerful way will require your willingness and commitment. The great thing about gratitude is that you already know how to feel and be grateful. It's easy, fun, and rewarding. The challenge lies in figuring out how to best remind yourself and to come up with specific practices that you and those around you can participate in regularly. In this section, I've listed and explained a number of simple gratitude practices that you can use in your life. Most of them can be done alone, but some require other people. All of them are designed to raise your level of gratitude and to launch you in fully practicing this very important principle of being grateful. Some of them you may have done before, and there are clearly many more practices and techniques that you can use. The idea of this list is to get you thinking and also get you into action. My challenge to you is to pick a few of these practices and start doing them today. Have fun, and remember they're just practices, so you don't have to get them right. Number 1, keep a gratitude journal. This is a very simple, powerful practice that can have life-altering results. It was popularized in the late 1990s by Sarah Ban Breatnack in her book Simple Abundance, and then passionately endorsed by Oprah when she had Sarah's book and her as a guest on her show. You can use your gratitude journal any way you like. The goal is to write down 5 or more things each day that you're grateful for, about yourself, others, or life itself. It doesn't really matter what or when you write, just that you do it and that you commit to doing it every day. Many of my clients find it best to have their gratitude journal right by their bed so they can write things in it when they wake up in the morning, or just before they go to bed at night. Some people have told me they like to carry it with them so that they can write things down throughout the day, as they see, feel, and experience things to be grateful for. Make your gratitude journal fun, creative, and unique to you. Ideally, have it be something that you like to look at and touch. Make it nice and put some of your own style into it. Number 2, share your gratitude with others. As I mentioned earlier in the section about Thanksgiving, the practice of gratitude sharing can be done at any time with a group of people. Mealtime, especially dinner time, is a great time to do it. Someone starts and says what he or she is grateful for, from that particular day or in general. When that person's done, everyone else at the table is encouraged to take a few moments to share what he or she is grateful for. Sometimes it helps to give people a specific question. What is something you're grateful for from today, about your job, about your family? Number 3, create a morning or evening gratitude ritual. This is another simple and effective practice that you can do alone or with someone else. Sometime in the morning, ideally within the first 10 minutes that you're awake, or in the evening right before you go to bed, spend some time focusing on the things you're grateful for. You can use your gratitude journal, talk to your partner, significant other, child, or family member, talk to God in prayer, think about things in your mind, or focus in meditation on what you're grateful for. It doesn't really matter what you do, just so you spend some time and focus some attention on gratitude first thing in the morning or right before you head off to sleep at night. My own morning gratitude ritual often consists of my lying in bed and going through a mental list of things I'm grateful for. I started doing this back in college when I first noticed that it was sometimes hard for me to get out of bed in the morning. Instead of beating myself up for taking some extra time in bed or hitting the snooze button a few times, I decided to make use of that time and focus on gratitude. Similarly, in the evening, I will often lie in bed as I'm drifting off to sleep and repeat in my mind some of the many things I'm grateful for in general or from that day. Number 4, ask people what they're grateful for. This practice is very powerful and super easy. Throughout the course of your day, ask people what they're grateful for. This can be really fun, interesting, and inspiring. It takes a little bit of courage because some people will laugh at you or think you're weird, believe me, I know. However, most people will love the question and will enjoy answering. Oftentimes, they'll ask you in return and you'll be able to engage in a wonderfully positive conversation about what you're both grateful for. Number 5, use a gratitude rock. This is a practice that I heard about in The Secret, the best-selling book and DVD about the law of attraction. One of the people interviewed in the movie explained this powerful and simple practice. Find a small rock, stone, or crystal that you like. Place it in your pocket or purse and leave it there. Every time you reach your hand into your pocket or purse during the day and touch the rock, which you'll probably do accidentally a number of times, think of something you're grateful for. At the end of the day, when you clean out your pockets or purse, take a moment to think about something or many things that you're grateful for. Place the rock on your dresser or counter or wherever you put the things you carry with you each day. The next morning, put the rock back into your pocket or purse and think of something that you're grateful for as you do. And so on. The gratitude rock becomes a symbol and a reminder for you to focus all the time on what you're grateful for. As you can see, these 5 gratitude practices are all pretty simple and easy to do. You don't have to do all of them. Just pick one or more that resonate with you, or create some of your own. Have fun with them. Share them with others. Most of all, make sure you put them into action. Practice, practice, practice. Don't waste your time or energy getting overwhelmed or trying to do these things perfectly. Just play with them and see which ones fit best for you. This principle, be grateful, can in and of itself transform your life. When we have an attitude of gratitude, we see what is great in our lives and all there is to be thankful for. Gratitude is an essential piece of focusing on the good stuff and living a life of true appreciation and fulfillment.